Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel Green Crystal. Today I'm here with the 9th standard chapter 13, Why Do We Fall Ill, last part. Okay, last part of our chapter, that is principle of treatment and principle of prevention. Okay, so first we will move on to principle of treatment. We know that for many diseases there are different ways of treatment. Okay, so the two ways of treating the infectious disease, we'll go for the infectious disease only. So two ways are like to reduce the effect of the disease and to kill the cause of the disease. Got it? So here these are the two ways to reduce the effect of the disease and to kill the cause of the disease. So how to reduce the effect of the disease? Here either by treatment, the treatment which is reducing the symptoms of the disease. Okay. So normally as our elders, what they say when we are not feeling well, like when we are feeling uneasiness, when we are feeling that time, our elders are saying us to take some rest. They are telling us to sleep for some time so that we can reduce the effect of the disease. Okay, so this is one of the method, we can say not that effective, but sometimes it is effective. Okay, so here to reduce the effect of the disease, so what we have to do is, what the doctor has to be done is the treatment that reducing the symptoms. Doctor has to go for the treatment reducing the symptom. Okay, so treatment reducing symptoms, what all come here? To bring down the fever. If the person is having fever, what we have to do is to bring down the fever. We have to give the person a medicine which brings down the fever, and to reduce the pain. Like sometimes the person may have headache or something else. That time, sometime what we have to do, we have to take some medicine which reduces the pain. And or sometimes the person may have loose motion, and to have like reduce headache, same thing. Okay, so reducing the symptom, that type of treatment has to be done. Okay, so in this case a patient has to take bed rest to conserve our energy. Whatever the energy is there due to illness, energy has been lost or used up. So to conserve the energy, to gain the energy, so that our energy must be like reboosted, we can say. To reboost the energy, we must take bed rest for healing the disease. So it is conservation of energy for what? For healing the disease. Okay, so here cause of the, so here what we have to do first in this part, to kill the cause of the disease. How to kill the cause of the disease? So in this method, what the person has to be done, person has to go for the treatment which kills the disease, which disease means treatment which kills the microbes. Okay, so by to kill the microbes, as we have learned earlier, to kill the microbe like viruses, bacteria or many other, once we have to identify the categories of the microbes. To kill the microbes by identifying the categories of the microbes and biochemical life of the microbes, life process of the microbes, and also the pathways of microbes. So first we have to identify the microbe category, then their biochemical life process also we must identify, and their pathways also we must identify. Already we have learned about these things. Okay, so to kill the microbes, once we must know about these things. And when we understand what microbe is, what its biochemical life process is, and what its pathways are, then we can go for the antibiotics or drugs killing the microbes for the recovery from the disease. Okay, so like so symptoms directed treatment, sometimes like it is not effective in all the way. In all the cases it is not effective, because like treatment by itself, whatever the symptom directed treatment will be there, no, it will not make the infecting microbes go away, and the disease will not be cured in all cases. For that we need to be able to kill the microbes. So here only reducing the symptoms of the disease or only reducing the effect of the disease is not effective, but one person has to identify that only this method is not enough. The person has to go for killing the microbe and killing the cause of the disease, so that he can be healthy, he can be fit and fine. Got it? So like so now just move on. So as I have earlier told about, it is easy to kill bacteria than to kill the viruses. Viruses cannot be killed by simple medicine or simple antibiotics or any drugs. Drugs means medicine here, okay? So why it is harder to make antiviral medicines? Why? Because viruses use our mechanism of the cell. Once they enter our body, I have explained about the pathways of viruses, no? There I have told about how the virus enter our body, how it moves on, and how it catches our cell, and how it uses our cells DNA to replicate and to get multiply rapidly. I have already told about. So viruses use our mechanism of cells for their life process. What does they do? Our machinery for their production. Our mechanism for their life process. Hence we cannot destroy the mechanism. So here in case of bacteria and other, we are destroying the mechanism of their own production. We are destroying the mechanism of their biochemical life process. Their process only we are destroying. But in case of viruses, what does the virus do? They are using our own body mechanism, our own cell mechanism to continue their life process, so that we cannot destroy their mechanism, because it is our own mechanism. As we do in case of bacteria, we cannot do for virus. So one more reason why making the antiviral disease medicine is harder, that the bacterial medicine is like it is harder to make antiviral disease than to make the bacterial disease antiviral medicine than to make the bacterial medicine. These viruses, they are non-living outside the body. When they enters a body or when they enters the organisms, they are active, they are become living. So this is one of the toughest like one of the hardest way. So the scientists till now cannot make the viral medicine, antiviral medicines. Okay. So despite these limitations also, there are now effective antiviral drugs for HIV and all. For HIV, so it cannot kill HIV, but the infections are under control. So in case of HIV, scientists have made some antiviral medicine which reduce the effect of HIV, which cannot, not killing, not killing, but reducing the effect. Got it? So now we'll move on to the principles of prevention. So principle of treatment, we know that it is based on the type of the disease, or it is based on the type of the microbes. So what like all of what we have talked about so far about dealing with the diseases and to getting rid of the infections of some of the diseases, but what we know that prevention is better than cure. We have heard this proverb many times. Why prevention is better than cure? Because it is easy to stop or avoid something happening before it has started. Okay, it is easier to avoid something, or it is easier to stop something before it has started or before it has happened. So cure or getting rid of the infection may not work always. Okay, may not work always, because so there are some of the ways we can say, like it is not effective in all the cases, because always this treatment may have some limitations. Treatments may have some limitation. So here we have given in 3 steps or 3 different ways how or why the treatment is not that much effective than the prevention of the disease. We can say, so we know that like cure is or prevention is better than cure. Once the body is infected, what happens, once the body is getting infected, its function are damaged. Functions of the body is damaged. So once the body is infected, what happen? Its function, it means body's function will be damaged. So after the curing or after the treatment also may not recover completely. Always we cannot say that we have recovered from the disease completely. Not in all cases. Again and again I am telling this word. So second way, like treatment takes time. We know that treatment of any disease takes time. The patient become bedridden, maybe for short period or maybe for long period. So we know that treatment is taking long time sometime, and sometime it take very short time period for the patient to become healthy. And third way is patient may serve as a source of infection to other person. When the patient is unhealthy, when the patient is under treatment, the body of the patient already have the infection. So these infection may go to some other person also, because we have already learned about how the infectious disease are getting spreaded, right? So these things leads to the multiplication of the problems or multiplication of the disease. So that's why we must know that, and we must take care of ourselves, and we must avoid the disease, whatever the disease source is there. No, we must avoid that things. And because why? Prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. Why you got to know? No, these are the 3 things. That's why prevention is better than cure. Okay, patient may not recover completely. Patient become bedridden for some of the less short time or long time, and patient become the source of the infection to other person also. But now the question is, how can we prevent disease? So there are general ways of preventing the disease. There are 2 general ways, there are 2 ways. One is general way and other is specific way. So measure to control disease or measure to prevent disease are here 2 ways they have given. First one is general way for all type of diseases we can say, and specific way for one particular disease we can see. So in general way, preventing the exposure to microbes, what person has to do is preventing a person must prevent itself from the exposure of microbes. Like in airborne condition, providing living condition that is not crowded. The person or the patient, sorry, not patient, because here we are preventing, no. So the person has to avoid living in a condition which is overcrowded. Okay. In waterborne diseases, providing the safe and clean drinking water. So airborne diseases, living condition must not be crowded, and in waterborne diseases, safe and clean drinking water must be provided. So this can be done by treating the water to kill the microbial contamination. So when we are drinking water, it must be either boiled or filtered. Okay. So vector-borne. Vector I told about, no, like these mosquitoes and other insects are acting as a intermediate source of the disease, and that is called as vectors. Okay. So these vector-borne diseases can be prevented by providing the clean environment. So this would not, like for example, we must not allow the mosquito breeding. We must kill off all the mosquitoes, and the public hygiene must be maintained. These are the basic keys to be at safer side. So basic keys are what? General prevention of the diseases, preventing exposure to the microbe, like in airborne, living in a condition which is not overcrowded. Waterborne diseases, having safe and clean drinking water, and in vector-borne diseases, clean environment. So cleanliness is godliness again. So maintain cleanliness. You can avoid many diseases by maintaining cleanliness. So in addition to these issues, there are some other general principles to prevent the infectious disease also. Like normally we are faced, I want to give one example. Once in a class, like a person is suffering from cold, and one of the student in a class is suffering from cold and cough. Okay, one of the student in the class is suffering from cold and cough. So many students are sitting around him, right? This one student A, is suffering from cold and cough. So other student B and student C, they are sitting close to the student A. Sometime this student will get infected with cold and cough, but the student B will not be infected with the cold and cough. Why? The question is, why the student B is not infected with cold and cough, as cold and cough is an infectious disease, and this student A is having cold and cough, but student C is also getting cold and cough, but the student B is at safer side. Why? Because its immune system is strong. Its immune system is stronger. Strong immune system avoid the diseases. Okay. So like we can also avoid diseases by boosting our immunity. So it is for all diseases. Let's go to the first. We will move on to the second way of, that is a specific way of preventing diseases. So here first one is vaccinating. We know that in India we are vaccinating our child at when it is born, when a baby is born, till age of 5. We are vaccinating our kids to boost their immunization, we can say. Okay, so vaccinating. So these vaccines are, what they are doing, they are, means once they are in the body, they are killing the microbes entering the body. These vaccines are, whatever the microbes are entering our body, they are providing as a shield. They cannot allow these microbes to enter the body. Once the microbe enters means let it enter, but they are keeping as a safeguard. They are not allowing the microbes to multiply. Okay, so this vaccination is very important, and vaccination gives immunization. What is immunization? Immunization we can say it as like effective prevention of infection. So what is immunization? Just immunization is, it is providing effective condition to the body, for the body to fight against diseases. Providing effective condition for the body to fight against diseases is called as immunization. Got it? So we know that immunity is like a source of preventing disease, we can say. So the basic principle of prevention of disease is boosting immune system and availability of sufficient and proper healthy food. Okay, so we must have the food which boost our immune system. So here I have made a list of some of the food which boost our immune system. That is citrus fruit, red bell pepper, okay, broccoli, garlic, ginger, spinach, yogurt, almond, sunflower seed oil. We are having sunflower seed oil, and turmeric, green tea, papaya, kiwi, etc. So these are the fruits, or these are the food we must have regularly to boost our immune system. Got it? And other things what we have to do is, a person must avoid smoking. So a person must take the diet of fruit and vegetable. Got it? A person must avoid smoking, a person must have the diet of fruit and vegetables, and a person must undergo regular exercise. Regular exercise has to be done by the person. And next, maintaining the weight. Overweight gain or weight loss is not good for the health. So we must maintain our weight. And fifth one is avoiding alcohol and getting adequate sleep. Nowadays we are not getting adequate sleep. We are using and we are wasting most of our night time in mobile. So we must avoid looking at mobile phone screen or other things during night, and we must have adequate sleep. Early to bed, early to rise. Got it? So if you eat meats, cook it thoroughly. Well cooked meat we have to eat when we are having meat. Got it? So these are the ways to boost your immune system. So that's it. We have finished this chapter over here. So hope you understood well the chapter why do we fall ill. You understood why do we fall ill, and you understand you have learned here the causes of the diseases, infectious diseases, acute and chronic diseases, and also the measure of prevention of the diseases, and like way of spreading of the diseases, and measure of treatment also. So that's it for today. Jazakallah khair for watching. Inshallah next we will move on to next chapter. So continue watching my videos for 9th standard science, and also I'll continue about 10th and 8th science also inshallah. Jazakallah khair once again. Allah Hafiz.